You have been lied to. When you first started your coaching business, you were told, or at least you were probably led to believe, I need to get my website done. It has to be perfect. So you spend hours or invest a small fortune into perfecting it. Your logo, your branding, your about page, your keywords. But what if this beautiful website that you invested so much into is a big reason that your income is a roller coaster, inconsistent, unpredictable? What if this website is actually a leaky bucket that is silently draining away your best leads every single day? I'm Lisa Hugo. I help coaches and consultants become the most influential voices in their niche and grow their business with systems that generate leads and clients every single day. And it's not by having a perfect website. And in this video, I'm going to show you why that perfect website is the biggest bottleneck in your business. And I'm going to reveal the exact one system that took one of my clients from a frustrating roller coaster revenue of sometimes 30K months, but other times just 3K months, to a life-changing, consistent 80 to 90K months. You do not need a redesign. You need to reprogram how you think about getting clients. So let's start with the advice that you have probably heard. Build a beautiful website. Blog 3 times a week for SEO. Showcase your portfolio. Make sure you have a services page, a contact page, a resources page, a link to all your social media. This sounds professional. It feels productive, and I'm sure it is, but you have to rethink your website's purpose. The way you've been taught to build your website sets it up to fail, not by your designer, but by its very nature. You see, a typical website is a library. A visitor lands and they see the menu, and then they get 10 different options: about, services, blog, case studies, contact form, and each one is a door, but each one is also an exit. So when a potential client, someone who is maybe, possibly thinking about giving you thousands of dollars, and then they land on your website, in your library, you're giving them dozens of ways to get distracted and walk away. And they do. Website conversion rates are shockingly low for coaches. On average, 1 to 3% of people convert. So imagine you have 100 visitors to your site and only 2 will convert. 98 leave without taking the one action you need them to take. They click to your blog, they read an article, they forget why they even came. They check your about page, and then they decide, oh, I'll think about it. You have built a beautiful library, but a library is designed for browsing. It's not designed for buying. As high-ticket coaches and consultants, what you need is not a library. You need a cinema. Let me explain. When you go to a cinema, there is one entrance, one path, one screen, one story. Your attention is focused, it's controlled, and it's directed towards a single experience. Now, a funnel is like a cinema. It's designed for one thing and one thing only: conversion. It removes the choice of what decision do I make. Your website, on the other hand, multiplies choice and creates confusion. And that confusion is a notorious sales killer. It's like going to YouTube or Netflix and you see all the different choices of what you could watch. So it's impossible to control what the user will do. So if you're a coach or a consultant, this feels familiar. You're an expert at what you do. Your clients get incredible results. You've poured your heart and your soul into your work, and yet your income, it looks like a seismograph during an earthquake. You've got moments where it's a feast, when you get lots of referrals coming in, they come in all at once, and then you think, yes, I've cracked the code. But then you have famine. The pipeline dries up, no more leads, no more inquiries for that month. So you start posting desperately on social media. You send emails to your list to activate some interest. Maybe you run some ads to your website, but you've got no idea if those ads are even working because you don't know how to set them up properly to track conversions. Not to mention that spending money on ads that point to a website is like pouring water into a bucket that's full of holes. Businesses pour huge amounts of money into getting people to their website, but invest very little into getting them to take an action once they're there. Now, this is frustrating for you. You're doing everything you're told. You're creating content, you're building your brand, but you've still got this problem of your income being inconsistent and unpredictable. Now, another real problem with your website is that it talks all about your process, not about your client's transformation. It says things like, I offer 12 weekly 60-minute coaching sessions with email support. Your client doesn't buy sessions, they buy outcomes. They buy the after picture. They want to know that you can take them, for example, from dreading Monday mornings to really looking forward to their week. Your website is a resume of your skills, but it's not a billboard for their dreams. And that disconnect is costing you a fortune. I want to share with you a story about Laura. Laura is a brilliant business consultant, but when she came to us, she was the perfect example of this problem. She had an aesthetically gorgeous website. She'd done a lot on the design. It had soft, inviting colors, professional headshots, a blog filled with incredibly insightful articles. She had her services listed, her certifications on there, and a heartfelt about page. She was doing everything right, but still her revenue was unpredictable and frighteningly feast or famine. Like I told you, she had some great months where she got 3 to 4 referrals and she would hit around 30K. And then because she was busy working with those clients, she didn't attend as many networking events, didn't show up on social media as much, and her income then dipped to sometimes 3,000. This is the classic case of a coach with all the right things, but a big marketing problem. An expert in her field, great client results, but she didn't know how to turn attention into clients. And people would visit her site, they'd send an email, they'd tell her how much they loved what she's doing, and then they'd vanish. Her website served to build her credibility, but it wasn't and isn't an acquisition system. And this is where you need to rethink your website. Laura's is beautiful. It's a digital business card. It's a library of her successes, her client successes, her products and her services. But if 95% of her potential clients or more are just getting lost, distracted, and not taking action, then there's a problem. Now, this is frustrating. Laura was burnt out. She started to doubt if she could really make her business work. And she was pouring her energy, her time, and the little bit of marketing budget that she had into a system that was designed to leak. When we started working together, we said, we are not going to touch your website. That wasn't our role. We weren't going to change the logos, rewrite anything, or even update anything. Instead, we were going to build something entirely new alongside it. We were going to build this cinema experience, or in marketing terms, what we call a funnel. We bring in leads every day into a scalable revenue system that is centered around your voice and your core message. And this is what it looks like, and it could look like for you too. The first part is getting clear on your messaging, the one sentence transformation. So we have to first get your messaging out of this library concept into the cinema concept. When you choose a movie, you want to go to the cinema, you choose it based a lot around the title, what it's about. So you need to stop describing the process, but focus on the outcome. And this can be tricky. You've got to keep going until you can articulate the transformation that you provide in a single powerful sentence. For example, instead of, I provide strategic consulting for small businesses. Better. I help service-based founders to double their revenue in 12 months without working more hours. The first one is a description. The second is a destination. I want you to write that down. Now, the second part in the process is the signature talk. I want you to think of and look at your expertise, your experience, the transformations you have helped your clients to achieve and how you got them there. And then think of all of those blog posts you've written, the social media posts, the YouTube videos, the podcasts that you have shared on, all of that knowledge. Now imagine we pack that into a single powerful 35-minute presentation, what I call a signature talk, or even better, your $1 million message. This talk is designed to diagnose the audience's core problem and lay out the framework for the solution. It's going to offer immense value. It's going to establish you as an authority. It builds trust, connection, and naturally leads prospects to becoming a client as the next logical step. Now, for Laura, this became her most valuable business asset, more valuable than her website. It's a scalable way to demonstrate your expertise. This presentation could be delivered to one person or to 1,000 people, and the time investment is exactly the same. And this means you can reach more people, instantly building your name, your authority, and your expertise. People can consume your content before they've even spoken with you in this controlled way. Not just as a video on a page or on your website, but in a closed, engaging room in your cinema. And this is how it works. It's a simple 2-page funnel. Page 1 is a landing page with a single headline, the 1-sentence transformation, and then a single call to action. Watch this free training now. You'll probably also put a list of what they're going to learn on this page and maybe a photo of you, but we're keeping it simple and clean. All the traffic, all the ads, all the links point to this page. There's no about page, there's no blog, there's no distractions, just the entrance to your cinema screening. And to enter, they have to give you their email address. They then land on a simple thank you page. And this is like the foyer that you wait in after purchasing your ticket. Now on this page, you have a short video and you can invite them through this to book a call with your calendar already there. And that's for those that are eager to get started. But then for those who want to watch the movie, your presentation first, they can watch that, they can get indoctrinated into your world, experience you firsthand, be inspired and motivated. So by the end of your talk, you're going to give them another chance to schedule a call or to buy into your program or your service. Now, just notice that this is a controlled environment. They can't take any other action other than to watch or to leave. And if they leave, they weren't a good fit anyway, so that's a good thing. Now, part 4 of this process is the follow-up machine. What happens to the people who watch the training, but then they don't take action straight away? This is the final leak that we had to plug for Laura. So we set up a simple automated 5-email sequence. Nothing pushy, nothing salesy, just simply delivered more value, shared client success stories, addressed some of the most common questions or hesitations. And this automated email sequence then continues to build trust, keeps you top of mind, nurturing leads until they're ready to take a next step. For Laura, the result was immediate and dramatic. We turned on a small controlled amount of ad traffic, sending people directly to the opt-in page for her signature talk. And within the first month, she had had her best month ever. And for the first time, it wasn't just because of referrals. Now, because the system is predictable, that means she can scale. The more she puts into ads that she knows are working, the more she can get out. And she now averages, like I said, $90K per month. That's life-changing. She didn't redesign her website. She didn't get better at coaching. She didn't post more on social media. She simply stopped sending her best prospects into a confusing library on her website, and she started guiding them into a focused, compelling cinema experience, her funnel. She stopped spending money on polishing a system, her website, that was fundamentally broken. And this is especially so in the AI digital age, where SEO, search engine optimization, was the thing, but then came along AEO. Maybe you haven't heard of that, but that's answer engine optimizations. That's for voice. And now we have GEO, that's generative engine optimization, and that's for AI citations in ChatGPT and Google. Now, don't get me wrong, because I do believe this stuff is important, but it's there for when people find you to grow your credibility, when they search specifically for your name to find out more about you, not as the only way that people find you, because that is unpredictable and it's unscalable. Now, if you're watching this and you're thinking, I've been putting all of my focus into my website, and you're feeling the frustration of a business that is nothing but ups and downs, unpredictable revenue and growth, you're missing the system to turn your expertise into a predictable flow of high-value clients. You're missing this cinematic experience that your prospects need to fully understand you, your methods, and the transformation that they're going to get before they're ever going to speak with you. So in hindsight, you've likely been wrong about the purpose of your website. Your beautiful website isn't the business building asset that you think it is. It's a validation asset. It's where people go after they've already decided to work with you to confirm if they're making a good choice. But it's a huge mistake to think of it as your primary client acquisition machine. Now, if you want to find out what it would be like to work together, to become the most influential voice in your niche, where your message attracts, connects, and converts automatically, to have a system built into your business that generates leads and clients every day without relying on hope, referrals, and SEO. This short video here is going to walk you through exactly how we can help you. Go watch it. It's going to help you to identify where your current strategy is leaking, the areas you need to improve on, and to know then exactly how to fix those leaks. Okay? There's also a link in the description below. Maybe we'll speak soon.